I was Pop YouTube. Welcome to another video. And today I want to really talk to you guys about what I'm going to be doing kind of in as a result of the last video I put out. It's me being very self-critical, me being self-aware and analyzing what I did wrong last week and where I need to grow, how I'm going to combat that, how I'm going to continue to improve using Top Step X and how their features are going to help me. So starting out, I said, I failed to walk away when I was supposed to. My excuse me, my daily loss limit was set too high. So starting out next week, I'm cutting my daily loss limit. It was at 600 right now. I'm going to go into the week at 490 because I'm usually averaging $250 to $300 per trade. So I take one loss. My first trade is a loss. I'm down 300. I'm then going to mitigate my risk. I'm going to cut it in half, putting me at $150 risk. 300 plus 150 is 450. That gives me a little bit of wiggle room on top of that. And it also keeps my risk at, at a minimum in comparison to what I should be making per day. If I'm risking $300, I should be making at least, in terms of what I like to aim for risk to reward wise, I should be making at least $600 per day. Now, if I take that first loss, I take a second win, I take my second trade with half the size, it's a win. That'll put me at, break even for the day, vice versa. So that's the first thing. As y'all can see right here, I have the personal daily loss limit. It is tightened. Now, a new thing that I'm going to be incorporating just to kind of help prevent me from over trading when I say I'm going to walk away and I don't, is I put a trade limiter on my accounts. Now, this is subjective to the individual. This can be different for everybody and your style of trading. Now, for me, I looked at my average winning days, my average losing days, the days where I lose too much money, the days where I make, a good amount, my quick in and out days. I looked at all that data, all those statistics, and then I took the average of the days where I tend to crash out and put that all, into the calculator, and I came to the conclusion that for me with Top Step, since they count every execution as a trade, 30 is the number that I don't want to be going above. Now, it does sound like a lot, 30 trades in a day, but at the end of the day, you have to realize, like for me, I pyramid, I take partials, I might, scale into a position, whatever the case may be, go break even. All of that stuff counts as an individual trade. So with Top Step X, for me, it's not smart for me to, try to make 3 trades per day because I pyramid, because I take partials, because I do this, that, and the third. So what usually works for me is my average winning day is usually less than 20 executions total. 20 to 25 executions total, depending on how I start out. And with that being said, now, this combined with, this paired with the personal daily loss limit, it should make it a lot harder for me to, have those days where I do crash out or I don't manage my risk properly. Because let's just say I do take a bunch of trades, I keep getting stopped at break even, or now I'm starting to take small losses, like how Friday happened. I was in small profit, I then got stopped out a few times. And my losses started to pile up. They were small losses, but they were piling up. This is to help prevent that. The personal trade counter, the trade lockout counter, is to help me, help prevent me from going through a situation like Friday to where I take way too many trades that I'm not supposed to take, where I should just walk away. This is going to help prevent me from doing that. And at the end of the day, it does also come down to me making the correct decisions, but this is kind of like a safety net or like an insurance play so that I don't have to go over that subconsciously, and it'll automatically do that for me just until I can really, tighten the loose screws and really wring it out, if that makes sense. So those are the first 2 things. And then also going forward, I just want to talk about what I really want to focus on in terms of just psychologically and my aim going into next week. Now, next week, I'm gonna get more in depth into it with, the trade, the pre-weekly analysis that I do later on today. But going into next week, as y'all can see, next week should be pretty well. We have a lot of 8:30 news. These are usually the news days that I trade the best on. When we have 8:30 red folder, I usually trade a lot better on these news days because when I get on at 9:30, the market is ready to make its move, targeting either the 8:30 data high or the data low. That is usually the play I like to take when it comes to a day like this. So next week we should be good. Next week we should expect some good action. And for me, I'm definitely going to be focusing on quality over quantity. I do not want to hit my personal daily loss limit or, that max trade per day. I really want to focus on taking quality trades. Not going to try to pyramid as much unless if the opportunity is really, really there. And just disconnecting from the money part as a whole, because I think that was kind of part of the root to my issue from last week. I was connected to the money a lot of the times, and it was causing me to scale into trades that didn't even need to be scaled into, or just take trades that didn't need to be taken just because I'm trying to meet this quota in my head. And I'm also just focused on the internal time frames too much. I definitely want to stick to the higher time frames going forward. Only zoom in when it actually makes sense to. And if, the higher time frame drawing liquidity, if we're close to it, what happened on Friday, like we were very close to the drawing liquidity, and then I zoomed into the internal time frame and tried to scalp along to that, high that we were targeting. That's dumb. If there's no higher time frame model, and it's a situation like that, just don't take it. Let the setup pass by, let the drawn liquidity be taken, and then wait for an actual higher time frame model to come. And then once that higher time frame model presents itself, then you can zoom in. That's when I catch the best trades. And for me, I just want to really focus on that going forward. Just really quality over quantity, sitting on my hands. And that's basically it. That's basically going to be the changes going into next week, how I want to grow and improve, and what I'm going to be doing to take into, the measures I'm going to be taking to, hopefully improve and continue to grow throughout next week. I'm going to show y'all right now. Being completely transparent with y'all, this is what each account is at. So account number 1 is at 1263. There's 3 accounts with the same balance. I want to say it's not this one. So these 3 are all at 1263. This one is at 1191. This is at 1949. So going forward, I definitely want to get all these accounts higher going into next week. Definitely want to secure a 5-figure payout. And these are going to be the measures that I'm going to be taking in order to do so that I can prevent myself from getting in my own way. And then eventually, it's like riding a bike. You learn to ride a bike, In my situation, I found these new issues that I had. So it's kind of like I'm relearning how to ride a bike with the training wheels on. And then once I get good enough with the training wheels, I'll take the training wheels off and, I ride it on my own. Pause. But yeah, pause. But yeah, so that's the goal going into next week. That is the measures that we're going to be taking going forward. And a lot of the comments, I definitely appreciate them. Y'all just giving y'all feedback, the words of encouragement, all that definitely meant a lot to me. And I want this just to be a lesson for, whoever's watching this, whoever watched my last videos, just to say, like, you need these losses. Somebody did comment that, like, these losses are necessary. Everything happens for a reason. I was very disappointed in myself from last Friday, but I really had to take the time to reflect as well. Like yesterday, this weekend, just in general, like was very important to me. I just reflected a lot. I spent a lot of time just thinking. And this is still a great month. We are still in profit. All these accounts were at 0 last week. Well, a few of these accounts were at 0 last week. This one wasn't, but the rest of these accounts all started at 0. So I really can't be mad because I'm in profit regardless. I'm doing what I love. I'm doing this for a living. This is my full-time income. So like, this is what I prayed for. This is what I wrote down. This is what I manifested. I can't be mad. This is what comes with it. The self-doubt, the times that get tough, like all that stuff comes with it. It's supposed to happen. It's new. It's common. It's natural. Like you got to accept. You got to roll with the punches. You got to get better. And yeah, so I definitely appreciated all that. I definitely want y'all to take from what I went through and how I'm, reflecting on it, how I'm going to go forward to improve it, and just see if you can incorporate anything that I said into whatever you got going on, whatever your situation may be, even if it's outside of trading. If something goes wrong, you can't just sit and soak on it. You have to figure out, analyze, reflect, why did it go wrong? What could I have done better? What did I do wrong? And how am I going to improve going forward? And that's exactly what I did this weekend. In regards to, last week and then even, the last few weeks of my trading, this has definitely been a reoccurring issue. And you have to really understand when enough is enough. And I want to really grow as a trader. I can't keep making these same mistakes. So this is definitely something that I keep coughing. This is definitely something that I think that can be beneficial to a lot of y'all. So yeah, Keep this short though. I'm gonna catch y'all later on for the trade week or the pre-week analysis. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoy it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We are close to 200 subscribers. I'm super duper appreciative. I thank y'all so much. It means a lot. So yeah, thank y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and catch you in the next one. Peace out.